In this video, we're going to look at the function f of x equals the cubed root of x, which is your cubed root function. And before I do that, this will help us understand the cubed root, is if I go backwards and take a look at the square root. So the square root is when you have an index of 2. We don't put the 2 in there. It's the most common root, so we leave that blank. But we have the square root of 25. So that is the same thing as this. Okay, the square root of 25. That 2 and 5 looks a little weird. I'm going to reset so I don't see too long. Okay, and we know that the square root of 25 is the same thing as the square root of 5 times 5. Now this index of 2 right here, that tells you that you're looking for groups of 2. You take one from the pair, and that's your answer. Same thing with the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is the square root of 3 times 3. Well, that's a pair of 3's. Take one from that pair, and the square root of 9 is 3. The cubed root works similarly, except that we need groups of 3. So the cubed root of 2 times 2 times 2. Well, the cubed root of 2 times 2 times 2 is the same thing as the cubed root of 8. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. I have a group of 3 2's, so I take one from that group to the outside, and the cubed root of 8 is equal to 2. That's because 2 cubed is equal to 8. The cubed root of negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is the same thing as the cubed root of negative 8. Now when I have an odd index, the cubed root of negative 8, well, that's a group of 3 negative 2's. So what multiplied by itself gives you negative 8? That's a negative 2. What multiplies by itself 3 times? 1, 2, 3. What multiplied by itself 3 times gives you negative 8. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8, and the cubed root of negative 8 is negative 2. So we're going to continue with that thought here with our cubed root function. If you've studied 1 cubed through 10 cubed, this should be very familiar. So f of x is going to be the cubed root of x. I can now put negative values in, as you can see right here. When I have an odd index, I can put negative values into the radical, because a negative number times itself an odd number of times is negative. So if I put in a negative 8, the cubed root of negative 8 is negative 2. So I put in a negative 8 and I get a negative 2 out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, negative 2. Right there. The next number that I can put in for x would be negative 1. The cubed root of negative 1 is negative 1. So negative 1 is a point on the graph. I can put in a 0. The cubed root of 0 is 0. 0, 0 is an ordered pair. I put a 1 in. The cubed root of 1 is 1. So 1, 1 is an ordered pair. And then I'm going to put a positive 8 in. The cubed root of 8 is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 right there. And our graph looks like this. It's definitely a curve, so there's no straight lines to it. So that's what our graph looks like. Now, if you're a little confused with that cubed root thing, it might be because you are not familiar with your cubes. 1 cubed is 1. 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed is 27. 4 cubed is 64. 5 cubed is 125. 6 cubed is 216. 7 cubed is 343. 8 cubed is 512. 9 cubed is 729. and 10 cubed is 1,000. The more you know of the facts, the less uncertainty you're going to have with the math, with the algebra. So the more math facts you understand and know and memorize, increasing the math facts that you learned when you were maybe in elementary school with addition and subtraction and multiplication and division. Now we are in college level algebra. We need to expand our fact base, and this is most definitely one way to do that. So the cubed root of 1 is 1. The cubed root of 8 is 2. The cubed root of 27 is 3. The cubed root of 64 is 4, and so on and so forth. And that's what our graph looks like. So here we're looking at the cubed root of t. G of t is equal to the cubed root of t. So if I want to find g of 125, in place of t, I'm going to put 125, and the cubed root of 125 is 5. And on our next one, we've got h of negative 26. Everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put negative 26. So I have negative 26 minus 1. The cubed root of negative 27 is negative 3. And that's because negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 is indeed negative 27. You can also think of it as taking out that negative and then finding the cubed root.
Kim Rhodes.
And then finding that cubed root of 27. So if you take the negative to the outside first and then find the cubed root of 27, you still end up with negative 3. And I believe, we've got 2 more. The cubed root of negative 8y cubed. So I'm going to do this in parts. I'm going to find the cubed root of negative 8 and then the cubed root of y cubed. The cubed root of negative 8, and then I'm going to find the cubed root of y cubed. Well, the cubed root of negative 8 is negative 2, and the cubed root of y cubed is y, so that's going to give us negative 2y. Now, when you get better at this, you may be able to avoid this step right here. Okay, next problem, the cubed root of 216x cubed. If you want, press pause and try and do any of these problems on your own and then hit play again and see if you got the right answer. This is going to be the cubed root of 216 times the cubed root of x cubed. The cubed root of 216 is 6 because 6 times itself 3 times is 216. And then the cubed root of x cubed is x. 6 times x is 6x. You can see what we're going to be going to next. We're going to be talking about the 5th root and the 7th root and the 9th root and even some even roots, 4th root. So in the next video, we'll finish up doing odd and even roots of that other than the square root and the cubed root.